everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about one of the conic sections, which is parabola. I'm going to talk about the shape, the standard form, the vertex, the focus, and the directrix of parabolas. If this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe my channel by hitting the subscribe button below so that you won't miss any videos later. If you find that this video is useful, please share to your friends, to your students, or to anybody who need this. So, let's start the lesson right now. In this video, I'm going to talk about parabolas. I'm going to discuss how to find the standard form of a parabola, and based on the parabola, how to find the vertex, how to find the focus, and some other important part of the parabola. Then I'm going to show you how to sketch the graph of the parabola. So now, first of all, I'm going to discuss the important part of the parabola. The shape of the curve of the parabola is approximately to a U shape. The shape may be open upward, can be open downward, or open to the left hand side or right hand side. And there is one axis of symmetry, and we call it as axis of parabola. The intersection point between the axis of parabola and the curve, that is, we call it as vertex. Beside the vertex, there is a point that is focus. And the other side of the focus, there is a perpendicular straight line, and we call it as directrix. The distance from vertex to focus and the distance from vertex to directrix, the distance is the same. And if we have any point which is on the curve, the distance from the point to focus is same as the perpendicular distance from the point to the directrix. So these are the important part of parabola. Now we go to the standard forms of parabolas. For standard form of parabolas, one of the term is power 2, then the other term is linear. For example, if term y is power 2, then term x is linear. If term x is power 2, then term y is linear. Now, for coefficient of x and y, coefficient of x and y must be equal to 1. So, if the coefficient is not equal to 1, then we must factorize the coefficient out here. This number outside the term x can be any number, but not equal to 0. Now, let's proceed to the shapes of parabolas. To determine the shape of the parabola, we look at the linear term. If the linear term is x, then the axis of parabola is parallel with x-axis. That is, the parabola is horizontal parabola. But we know that horizontal parabola, the shape of the parabolas can be open to the right or open to the left. So to determine the shape of the parabola, it depends on the constant here. So if A is positive, then the parabola opens to the right hand side. If A is a negative, then the parabola opens to the left hand side. Now, to find the coordinates of the vertex, we can take from the x factor and y factor. Then to find the focus, we know that the distance from center to focus is a. A can be taken from the standard form of the equation of the parabola. If the focus is on the right hand side, then value of x will change, becomes h plus a. If focus is on the left hand side, then the x values becomes h minus a. Now as for the directrix, if the parabola is horizontally, then the directrix is a vertical straight line. Since directrix is a straight line, not a point, then we have to name the straight line by using x. We know that the distance from vertex to directrix is a. So if we want to find the x value here, if the directrix is on the left hand side, then the x value of the directrix is h minus a. If the directrix is on the right hand side of the vertex, then x is equal to h plus a. Now, from the standard form of the equation of the parabola, if the linear term is y, then the axis of parabola is parallel with y-axis. That is, the parabola is vertical parabola. But for vertical parabolas, the shape can be open upward or open downwards. So, we look at the A. If A is positive, then the shape of the parabola opens upwards. If A is negative, then the shape of the parabola opens downwards. Then for the vertex, the coordinates of the vertex can be taken from the y factors and x factors. Now for focus, we know that the distance from focus to vertex is a. A can be taken from the standard form of the equation. If the focus is above the vertex, then the value of y becomes k plus a. If the focus is below the vertex, then the y value becomes k minus a. Now, as for the directrix, if the parabola is vertical parabola, then the directrix is a horizontal straight line. So, to name a horizontal straight line, we need to know the value of y. Since distance between the vertex and the directrix is a, so if the directrix is below the vertex, then the y value is k minus a. If the directrix is above the vertex, then y value is k plus a. Now let's look at this question. Show that this equation is a parabola. So when we look at the equation, only y has got power of 2 and x is linear. So in this case, we know that this is a parabola. So first step, I'm going to group all the y term on the left hand side to carry out the completing the square, and the x and constant I shift to the right hand side. Before I can carry out the completing the square, I must make sure that the coefficient of y square must be equal to 1. So now I'm going to factorize the 2. So after I factorize the 2, inside the bracket is y square plus 3y. Now, when I carry out the completing the square, the coefficient of y must be divided by 2, then minus with a number of square of 3 over 2, that is 9 over 4. Then now I'm going to cancel off this square bracket, So when I expand, then here I get 9 over 2. So now I shift 9 over 2 to the right hand side. When I simplify, now I'll get something like this. So then after that, I have to make sure that the coefficient of x and y must be equal to 1. So first, I'm going to factorize the negative 3. So when I factorize the negative 3, next is I'm going to shift the 2 to the right hand side. So now, when I double check the equation here, this equation meets all the conditions of the standard form of a parabola. So therefore, I make conclusion that this is a parabola. Now, based on the standard form of this parabola, I'm going to find the vertex of the parabola. The x value of the coordinate of the vertex we can get from here. We let x plus 1 over 2 equals 0, so means x is negative 1 over 2. And the value of y of the coordinates I can take from here. I let y plus 3 over 2 equals 0. Then y is negative 3 over 2. So therefore, the coordinates of the vertex is negative 1 over 2 and negative 3 over 2. Then, next, before I can find the focus, I must know what is the shape of the parabola. Now, from the equation, x is the linear term. So, means the parabola is parallel with x-axis, that is horizontal parabola. So, horizontal parabola, there are two. One is the curve open to the left. One is the curve open to the right. Now, because this one is a negative value, means the shape of the parabola is the curve open on the left hand side. So means based on the shape of the curve, we know that focus is on the left hand side of vertex. So before we can find the coordinates of focus, we must know what is the distance between the vertex and focus. The distance between focus and the vertex is a. When we compare the equation of the parabola with the standard form, so we can see that 4a is equal to 3 over 2. Based on here, we can calculate a is equal to 3 over 8. And because focus is on the left hand side of the vertex, so means the coordinate of focus, the value of x will change. So the coordinate for focus is equal to negative 1 over 2 minus the a, negative 3 over 8. So therefore, the focus is negative 7 over 8, negative 3 over 2. Then, to find the directrix, since the shape of the parabola is a horizontal parabola, so means the directrix is a vertical straight line. So to name a vertical straight line, we must use x. So now I'm going to find the value of x of this straight line. And we know that the distance between the vertex and the straight line is equal to a. Since a is equal to 3 over 8 and the directrix is on the right hand side of the vertex, so means the value of x is equal to negative 1 over 2 plus the value of a, that is 3 over 8. So therefore, x is equal to negative 1 over 8. So when we want to name the directrix, we must use x equals negative 1 over 8 because the directrix is a vertical straight line. But many students make mistake. They simply write directrix is equal to negative 1 over 8. So this is not correct. Now I'm going to sketch the graph of this parabola. So first, I start from the x-axis and y-axis. Then first I plot the point of the vertex. Then I draw the curve of the parabola. Now from the diagram, I can see that there is an x-intercept here. So I must label this value. So to find this x-intercept, y is equal to 0. So when I substitute y equals 0 into the equation of the parabola, so I find that x is negative 2. So now I label the x-intercept. Now I complete the whole graph by labeling the focus and also the directrix. Now we proceed to the second example. Find the equation of the parabola with its axis parallel to y-axis, and the vertex is at the point 2, -1 and passes through the point 3, 1. So first thing I'm going to do is I try to sketch the graph based on the information given. So first I plot the point of the vertex. It is 2, -1. Then from the question we know that the parabola is parallel to y-axis. So means the parabola is a vertical parabola. Then for the vertical parabola, there are two possible. One is the curve open upward. The other one is the curve open downward. From the question, we know that the curve passes through the coordinate point 3, 1. So if the curve passes through this point 3, 1 means the parabola is a curve open upwards. Because if the parabola open downwards, so the curve does not passes through this point. So now this is the graph of the parabola. Since this is a vertical parabola and parallel with y-axis, so the linear term is y here. Now we are going to find this value. This value we can get from the vertex given. So since the vertex given, the coordinates are 2, -1. So means the value of x here is -2 and the value of y here is +1. Next, I'm going to find the value of a. Since we are given that the curve passes through this point, so means this point will satisfy the equation. So now I'm going to substitute the x value and y value of the coordinate point into the equation. So when I substitute x with 3, y with 1, then when I simplify, I find that a is equal to 1/8. So now I substitute back the value of a into the standard form of the equation of the parabola. Now I'll get the equation of the parabola. Now we proceed to the third example. The third example, find the equation of the parabola with its vertex at -6, -9, and its directrix is x equals -47/8. So first I'm going to sketch the diagram based on the information given. So first I plot the vertex that is -6, -9. Then the directrix is x equals -47/8. -47/8 is approximate to -5 point something, and the equation is x. Means this is a vertical straight line passes through the point -47/8. From the diagram, the directrix is a vertical straight line. If the directrix is a vertical straight line, means the parabola is a horizontal parabola. So means This horizontal parabola is parallel to x-axis. If the parabola is parallel to x-axis, means the linear term is x. So now I'm going to find these two values. So these two values I can get from the coordinates of the vertex. Since the vertex, the y coordinate is -9, so here it is +9. And the value of x for the coordinates of the vertex is -6. So here it is +6. Now I'm going to find the value of A. A is the distance between the directrix and the vertex. So to find the value of A, I'm going to use the value of x of the directrix minus the value of x of the vertex. So when I simplify, I get the value of A. Then I substitute the value of A back into the equation. Then finally, I'll get the equation of the parabola. So that's all for now. Do you understand what you learned today? If you have any question, let me know in Teacher Eileen Maths group. If you find that this video is useful, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you keep on learning and keep on watching my videos. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.